What's up, guys? Recently I became a partner on YouTube and I'm making some cash on my site now. It's kind of nice to be able to do. And I became a recruiter for this site. I'll put it in the description below. It's called support at FilmStudios.tv, and you can throw my name up there when you go. They're giving the most money to partners for videos that you make that advertise on their sites. They put up you know, the typical ad stuff, and they have the AdSense, ad revenue, that kind of stuff. You get the most money from them. I'm making pretty decent money on there, nothing great. I don't have a ton of views on my site. I hope that improves. It has been steadily day by day, getting more views, more people coming to my site. I'm trying to make better content. I've got to do some more stuff and get some more stuff up. But if you want to become a partner, you can go to support at studio.tv, I think it's called. Yeah, support at FilmStudio.tv. And by doing that, you can just make your site become a partner. You have to have at least 200 views per day, I think, to be considered. I think I'm making somewhere around 1,200 a day, something like that. So yeah, go on there, make your site, put on there that you got the information from me. I'll leave it in the description below. I'm going to start putting these on all my videos, and have a nice day. Hey, what's up, guys? Thought I'd come on and talk to you a little bit about Business 101. I've been noticing something that's been going on for quite a while now with eBay, and it's kind of I think it could be brought out further to represent our culture that we got going on now with feminism. Back in the day, in the early 2000s and stuff, I had a eBay site, and it used to be set up to where the seller was protected, but now we're getting into this system now where more and more people are dipping into the pocket of the seller, and you're the last on the totem pole. And what I got going on with my eBay site is I'm buying things, you know, say like I have my amp, you know, my Fender Deluxe, and that amp is worth about $900. So say I got a good deal on it, bought it for $800, and I throw it up on eBay, and I put a starting price of $600, which is a decent price. It's $200 off to about $300 off what you'd get if you went to a guitar shop, right? Well, I get these people coming on my site thinking that eBay is, I don't know what happened, but for some reason people think eBay is a fucking garage sale now. And they come on there and they offer you less money than even $600. When that's the start price, and there's a fucking reason it was the start price. It's because that's where the fucking price is supposed to start at and go up from there. You know? So they try to get you to sell it to them for cheaper, and I tell them, fuck off, you're not getting it cheaper. So they end up buying it for, you know, $650, $700, which is still $200 less than it's worth, you know, at least. Then I ship it to them. They start saying that something happened in shipping or something like that, and they want $100 off. So they get it for the price that they wanted anyways. But on top of that, we have PayPal that has decided to take some of your money. You know, if you get somebody that puts some money into your account, then you're ending up with, you know, maybe, you know, if it was, say, $600 that you threw in that account, even if you had to give back $100, eBay still takes, you know, like $150 of the money, and then you got PayPal that takes like another $80 to $100 of the money, and then you had to give another $100 back to the customer, and then you're waiting, and in some cases it's 28 days. So I took an amp that was worth $900, sold it on eBay, lost $300, and then in the shipping cost and the eBay pay and the PayPal and the customer wanting money back, I lost another $300. So in total, I sold an amp for $900 and lost $600 off of the sales price. And this is why I'm coming on to talk to you, a lot of you guys, especially MGTOW. I'm always telling my people that I talk to that you get nowhere in life working for someone else. You'll never get anywhere in life. You'll be eating ramen and the boss's kid will be going to Harvard. You know, you'll be sending him to Barbados twice a year while you're eating ramen, working 60 hours a week, you know, barely getting by, barely able to pay your bills, barely able to pay for your cell phone bill, you know, lucky if you can pay your internet bill so you can get on the internet at night. And this is what commonly we have happen. And I'll explain to you, and I'll go down to where I used to teach. I used to teach sales. When I first came back from Japan, I worked for a company in Colorado that did door-to-door sales. And they hired me to do door-to-door sales, but also to teach because I was an exporter, a car exporter. And I've been doing sales most of my life, so I'm really good at sales. And I seen really quickly their model. What they would do is they would hire these people who were desperate to make money. And at the time, there wasn't many jobs. This was 2009 in like March, you know. So a lot of the companies were closing. The crisis has just came around. There's no jobs, no people working. So these people were making money off of those people. And you would go out and you would sell these little books door to door. And what you would do is you would end up having the company, each one of these books was $31. And this is how the concept works for most sales. And this is going to take it down to a small version, and then you can go up to some company that's way bigger. And this gives you the idea, and then you can switch that over to something like Feminism, and that'll help you understand the mental concept of this. What they would do is they would hire as many people as they could, and they would tell you, oh, well, you get extra money if you get people on your team. So you would have maybe like 10 people on your team, and you'd have to do all this work and get these people ready to go and teach them how to sail. And the more people on your team, the more money you would make, supposedly. But what you would do, you would get $10 off each sale of the book. Now the company would get $10 for the production of the book. And then $1 would go to a charity, and $10 would go to the company that you were working for. So the big company was out of, I believe, Chicago, or someplace like that. I don't remember where it was exactly. I think it was somewhere over in that area. So they would get $10 for doing nothing, and the company that you were working for would get $10 for doing nothing, and then you get $10. And most people would go out and they would sell maybe 3 to 5 books. So you might get lucky per day of walking around for 12 to 14 hours. You'd come into work about 7 or 8 in the morning, and you'd get back and get done at night by about 7. So you'd work about 12 hours, and you'd be lucky if you made $40 to $50, and some people would come back and not sell anything. And the managers of the place would yell at you and tell you, like, you suck and blah, blah, blah. But there was probably 40 people throughout the whole show, you know. And they would go out and they would say, look, we can do it. And they would go out with you, these people that owned the place. And they would, I found out, because I'm a good salesman, I found out what they did. They would go out door to door, and they would give books away, or they would give them away really cheaply because they didn't care if they made any money. So they would obviously have to pay for the company that printed the books, so they'd have to give them $10, and they had to give $1, you know, to to the organization, the charity, right? So they would sell a $31 book for $11, and they would get people to buy like 3 at a time. So they would still be able to make $33, but they'd sell 3 books for a family pack and all these kind of things. And then they would come back and they'd say, see, and they'd go out. Sometimes they'd send you out with 15 books, you know. They'd come back in like 2 or 3 hours and sell all of their books. And basically what they just did was they paid off the company for the thing. They didn't make any money. And then they gave their dollar to charity, so they didn't make any money on it. And the company that they own didn't make any money. But then they come back and they say, see, I sold all 15 books and it only took me 3 hours. Why can't you do it? Well, the reason why you can't do it is because you're not going to be making any money if you do it that way, you know. And the reason why they would do that is because they would hope that would give you the incentive to go out and try to work harder, which people were already working hard and not making shit. But the concept is, with 40 people working, even if they only sell 1 book, that means the company in Chicago is making $400 a day. Now, these are in every city and every state, okay? And they're these little companies. They're all over the place. They go all over. They sell these little books, these little coupon books, door to door, all over the place. So this main company in Chicago is making millions off of these people for doing nothing more than just printing out books. Now, the company that you're working for, they make $400 as well off of you. And you're going home with maybe $10 because you might have sold 1 book. And then they tell you, you suck, you blah, blah, blah. And they would convince you that someday you might have your own shop, your own company with them, if you can get enough people and make enough money, and you have to sell a certain amount of books and you have to learn a certain amount of stuff. And their whole concept is basically to get as many people as they can, selling as many books as they can, so they make a bunch of money. And typically the people who are selling the books aren't making that much money, you know. Like I say, even if you sold 10 books, that's still only $100 for 12 hours worth of work. And you're working your ass off to do that, to sell 10 books. But when you sell 10 books, the guy upstairs in the air-conditioned building that's been sitting there all day, if 5 or 6 people do that, they just made $600 for sitting on their ass all day waiting for you to come back with money, you know. And this is how the concept of business works. It's also how the concept of feminism works. This is what they are trying to do. They're trying to get as many people, little minions out there, talking about feminist issues, doing this stuff as they can. Now we can use that against them in the MGTOW industry. You know, we can do the same mental concept. But when you understand this business dynamic, you understand what you're looking at, and it helps you when you're dealing with companies that you're going to go deal with. Like if you get on with Google or something like this, and you get into these big concepts, and they start telling you these big things, and you start looking at contracts, you'll start to see this on a bigger scale. They'll hide this stuff in small print, and what it's designed to do, like I say, is give you a meager amount of money while they make a shit ton of money off of you, off of your labor, off of your back. They want to make money to do nothing while you do all the work, you know. And this is the feminist concept. Basically, men, and this is not a misogynist thing. This is not anything. This is fact. Men are what have made the Industrial Revolution. Every building, every concept, everything that's came out in history since the beginning of Roman times all the way until now, the major building blocks of our society have been done by men. That's just a fact, you know. Most everything has been done by men. Now, I'm not going to say that it's all men, because that's a blanket statement. That's obviously bullshit. Many women have done things. You got people like Ronda Rousey, people like that. Obviously, there is some women that have contributed amazing amounts, but the amount this is where this comes in at, this business concept. The amount of women that have put into that, as opposed to the amount of men, are less than 1%. So, like, for every 5,000 men that do something and come up with new things and advance the society and build something, there might be 5 or 6 women. You know, this is the thing. And then they take those 5 or 6 women, just like the climate change deniers and all these kind of things. They take those few women and they say, all women can do that. When they know for a fact that's not true. Most women can't do that. You know, most of the things that women claim they can do equally as well as men. And, you know, the body, women say, like, the body structure is the same, we're physically the same, all these kind of things. It's all bullshit. Everybody knows that's bullshit. But these are the concepts that they will use to try to convince people that what a man can do, a woman can do as well. And then they use these little minions, they whisper in their ear in colleges, and they get them to think this stuff, and they send them out on their merry way. They say, go talk about this, like you know what you're talking about. And then they get it to grow, it gets bigger and bigger, when the person who they sent out to talk actually isn't getting anything from it. In fact, they're losing. You know, most of these women that talk about feminism and how great it is for women don't really realize they're losing everything. Everything that they once had. Everything that you had as a woman that made your life great, you're losing it. Men are walking away from relationships. Women are stopping the progression of women. Just like I talked about on my last video with the guitar, with the neck. They're not realizing how much of an adjustment they're having and how much things are being lost in their little concepts. And they're sending these little minions out of colleges to speak, like Anita Sarkeesian and things like this. And they're spouting only what they've heard, but they don't know the facts or the reality. And because of that, they're losing. And they're losing their life. They're losing what they could have had. They're losing love. They're losing relationships. They're losing at everything in life because somebody above them told them this is right. And it's not. So, I thought I'd come on and talk to that. Got a bunch more videos. I'll probably upload some more stuff today. I just thought I'd talk a little bit about business, about the Business 101 model, to help you guys understand where the MGTOW can be taken and the concept of business as the model for MGTOW and for the feminism. So, if you like this video, share, like, and subscribe. Leave your comments and criticisms in the section below. If you got any ideas for videos you want me to do, go ahead and leave those in the section below too. And don't forget, if you want to be a partner, to get on to the support FilmStudios.tv. They can help you make some money through YouTube if you've always wanted to do that. If you wanted to become a partner, like I say, all you have to do is have a couple hundred views at least per day. And most of us can do that if you're putting out pretty decent content. And yeah, share, like, and subscribe. Have a nice day.